Hello, everybody, and welcome to Who Are You? And I've got to say, I'm pleased to be joined by Stephen Feehily. How are you, Stephen?
I'm all right, Kev. I'm brilliant. Now I am.
Well, you are now. Listen, you're living in, where are you? Are you in New Orleans?
I'm right near New Orleans. It's called Kenner. It's like a 10-minute drive right out of New Orleans, get on the interstate. And yeah, it's not quite in the world famous New Orleans, but that's where the airport is. The airport's right down the street here. So
right, okay. And in the background, I can see a lot of your Arsenal shirts. And
that's a handful.
And could you could you get that 89 T-shirt? I'm sure that's an 89 T-shirt behind you.
Of course it is.
Yeah, come on, get that 89 T-shirt. And have you got the new T-shirt that you? Yeah, you're a bit of a designer, right?
Yeah. This is the 89 one. That is quite a few people have bought. I'm very proud of how it's turned out and how people are responding to it.
I've ordered mine, by the way, if you didn't know.
I thought you told me. I was like, I really wanted to get you one. I didn't want, like, they shouldn't pay for them. Like, I want to, like, give it. I want to hand it over. But I couldn't figure it out. I think we had the thing before with you tried to buy it from a US site, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And that's what triggered for me. I was like, I had to fix this because people are going to see it. Kevin Campbell's talking about it, and then Lee Dixon was talking about it.
Yeah.
I was like sweating. I'm like, I've got to do something about it. So like, I got the UK site set up, but before that, Mike had got some shirts, and I sent him over some shirts, and because he was going over there, and he said he was going to meet with you and Smith and a few others. I was like, oh, this is my dream come true. This is like, I was giddy, Kev. I was giddy, and then like a week or so after Mike landed, the virus hit, and then he went straight back to America. He got the first.
Yeah, you had to shoot home. Yeah.
But I was conflicted because I was about my thing, but at the same time, 100% understood why he did it. No problem with how he responded to it and what he did. You know, I was upset and annoyed because my thing didn't happen, but there was a global pandemic, so you know, I guess that trumped my thing. But it's all right. I mean, things will have a way of working themselves out. You know, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, well, but you had a T-shirt just before we get started. You had a T-shirt. You put a T-shirt on Twitter today. Have you got that with you?
I don't, because my shirt. I have the design. I don't have the physical shirt because my shirt. I don't have the resources to like print the shirts myself. It's because like, a lot of money.
No, but you're doing it the smart way, yeah.
Doing it like where another site does all the printing. It's all digital printing. It's on demand. So when someone orders it, they print and ship it, and then I just have to worry about the website and the design. So that one I'm gonna get up later today. So I had to put some feelers out, make sure I'm like doing the right thing with this shirt, and it's gonna be like any profit I would have made is gonna go straight to a charity. It's either gonna be the Black Lives Matter charity, or there's one called Campaign Zero, which is basically, you know, get a police brutality and death of African Americans.
Well, that's as good as any, isn't it, for right now?
I tried it, like, you know, I had an idea, like, I mean, it was late. I was like, ooh, will that work? And I sketched it out, and I showed my kids. I was like, if my eldest could read it, like read everything that was in there, then I'm good. And he did. So that's coming soon. That should be up later today or tomorrow. I got to make sure I'm able to get it so all the money goes to the right place. You know, I don't want any third parties, anyone picking at it, and try and find a way to get to the UK, because the one I have now, shipping to the UK is a nightmare, and you'll be paying customs on it. I don't want, and that's happened for the 89 shirt. A lot of people ordered it, especially after Dixon had it as his avatar on Twitter. People went nuts, and like, so people were ordering it, and then I couldn't get ahead of that. People were paying custom fees like crazy. And like, obviously, I'd be mad if I ordered a shirt and then paid shipping and paid like £10 extra on top of that. And I definitely don't want it to happen with a shirt that's supposed to be for a good cause. So
yeah.
I'm figuring out the UK side as well, because, you know, it's not just an American issue. Yeah.
Well, Stephen, listen, you've been great with me, and you've done some fantastic designs for me, you know, off the cuff, and I really appreciate that. But we're Gooners, so let's talk Arsenal, mate. Let's talk Arsenal. So let's get going on the Who Are You series, right? How did you become a Gooner, Stephen?
I had to like talk to my brother and my sister and make sure because I was like so young when like my fandom hit, because I was always, I'm an artist, I drew a lot, so that was really what I did more of. And so my brother would play a lot, my cousins would play a lot, and I was like in limbo. I watched the '86 World Cup, and like just that was when I fell in love with the game, like Maradona doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, and that World Cup in general was brilliant. And then after that, you know, finding my feet, finding my teams. I had cousins in North London. I had some on my mum's side, some on my dad's side, and one of them lived right by the stadium. One of them lived just off of Holloway Road. And then when I was like 8, it was we'd go up there and they'd all be Arsenal this, Arsenal that, and I was like, "Is this my team? This is my team." It might be, and it felt right. But being from Leighton and a Leighton Orient fan,
Yeah.
that's my team by default. And like they had a good relationship with Arsenal. In Gent, like loan players, you played there.
No wonder I like you, Stephen. No wonder I like you.
I'm an East London boy. I was
He's London boy. The O's close to my heart. Close to my heart.
Yeah, I was just and then it just kind of came down to that, like, because once you get to you like your local team, but then at a certain point, all your friends got the Premier, Division 1 teams, you got the bigger teams. You're like, I've got to get one, And I didn't really. No one else really was on my radar. People asked me why I wasn't like a West Ham fan. I was like, I'm a Leighton Orient fan. I'm not going to support West Ham.
No, not if you know, not in that part. No, not in that manner.
But different division, but it's still rivalry, man. So I can't do that. And then, like I say, my cousins are really big into it. And like once I saw how much they enjoyed it, and then went by the stadium, and like both my cousins were like, because where they live, they were into it. And I was like, I think this is my team. I think it's it. And the first real season I got into was the '88-'89 season, and I was just like, yeah.
So when was your first game then? When was your first game at Highbury?
My first game came. It was 1990. It was a 1990-91 season. It was Sheffield United at home, obviously, and my cousins, because they walking distance to the stadium, so we go. They got to go to games before, so I'm insanely jealous of that. So back then, tickets were like a $5, whatever, and it was all standing as well, so there's lots of tickets available. And we go to the game, and it was just brilliant. Smith bagged 2 goals, Dixon scored a penalty. It was 4-1, but my cousins like to leave 10 minutes before the end. Mate, I swore after that day I'm never leaving a game early, because it was 2-1 when we left on 80 minutes, and then Smith scored 2 goals back to back. I heard it. I'm like, was it us? Did we score or did they score? What's the score? Is it 2-2?
Oh, no.
And then a minute later, another goal. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this again. Why did we leave? And like, so it was just, I remember that. I remember the bright light, the Highbury, just looking up at it, being like, that was too loud. We scored, right? We scored. Did he say Smith? I think he said Smith. But I remember, I was only like 10, 11, like at that time, and I remember that, like, for my first game, and I've been to a few after that, but when I was young. But I remember our first one, and I spoke to my brother about it, and like he remembers exactly the same. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely one.
Yeah, you don't forget that one. So who was your favorite? So who was your favorite player back then, and who's your favorite player now of the current squad?
All right, I've given this a lot of thought, because my first instinct would be Bergkamp, because
he's a magician, isn't he? He's a magician.
Yeah, I mean, like he speaks for himself, Dennis. You don't need to big him up any more than if you know. And like if people from other teams know Bergkamp, they admire him. They got no bad word to say about him. Like, yeah, Dennis Bergkamp, he's great, and he feels like he's an Arsenal lifer, even though he was at Ajax and then he was at Inter. It feels like he was always Arsenal. And he retired like as an Arsenal player. He didn't want to go and fade away at another club. Like. He was adamant that he could do, because his game wasn't about pace and speed. Like he could be the same guy at 36.
It was up here, wasn't it? It was upstairs.
And he was still pulling out those sweet passes, little touches, the nice, elegant flicks. He wasn't extravagant, but he knew the game better than anybody I've seen play. So like, I'd probably say Dennis, but I also say Adams. It's a different part of the game, because like watching him, first time I saw Tony Adams play live, I understood defending for the first time.
Yeah.
I was like, because it's not about like, on TV you only see the live stuff, the ball, the goals, the tackle, and that's great and you enjoy it. But when you watch it and you sit behind and you see Tony Adams manage that defense,
organize, yeah,
you don't see that on TV. You know, and I saw how he anticipated movement. You know, he tracked players. He marshaled his defense. I was like, I knew what defending was when I saw Tony Adams like in the flesh. I was like, but it can come down to a lot of players like Righty. You know, like I love Righty, man. I loved everything about his goals, his personality, just the way he celebrated. Like I wish I loved it as much as he did. I think he loves football and Arsenal more than anybody. Like just watching it with his enthusiasm for the game, and even now, just like how he talks about Arsenal, like just Righty will always like be special. Even though he went off and went to West Ham and Burnley, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like just.
Well, he never wanted to leave, did he, Stephen? No, he didn't want to leave, but time moves on sometimes.
Yeah, so like it was clear he didn't want to leave, but there was no place for him in a team at that time, but he still wanted to play because he loved the game.
Yeah.
You know? So I admire him for that. But like, I could go on and on about certain players. Like, I've got a few favorites in the season, Pires, Ljungberg, depending on what time of the year it was.
You can't have them all, Steve. You can't have them all.
The period of time, it was just like, I'll stop because you got time limit and all that.
No,
stuff.
but who is okay, you've named a lot of players. It's Bergkamp and Adams with Wright close in third place. So who's your favourite player now?
Oh, I couldn't. I think that's a problem with Arsenal right now. I think there's not really many standouts overall. Aubameyang's goal is great, but I'm still his commitment to Arsenal is still a bit dubious for me in terms of I think he's more into the money than he's about committing to the club long term. But when he's the only one,
can you blame him now? Because Arsenal haven't shown the ambition that we're used to.
Yeah, it's a different culture now with how players come in. Like you kind of nowadays you still want that old school commitment. You still want that player who would just play for the badge and whatever. But now money's gotten so out of control. Money's a motivator now, and you wish it wasn't, but that's the modern game. And so, I like Aubameyang for what he contributes goals wise and everything else. But honestly, if I was going to pick one now, I'd pick Leno, just in terms of he's been an unsung hero last couple of seasons. Like he's been battered and bruised, like peppered, but he'll get criticised for his mistakes. But look at the 10, 20 saves he made right before that mistake. I feel like we'd be a lot worse off if we didn't have like Leno in there, just putting his body on the line. Just some of the saves he's made have been remarkable. So, and I don't normally always go for the goalkeeper, but that's where Arsenal are right now. He's been the guy who's really stood out, and he won't always get all applauded. Goalkeeper, it's the life of a goalkeeper. You make one mistake and then you get strung up. But yeah, I think right now I'd probably say Leno.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I think Leno's done a really good job, Stephen. I honestly do. I think Leno. Look, when he first came in, obviously Petr Cech was there, and he wasn't straight in. But I think he's grown into the position, and I think he's a fan favourite now. I think he is.
If he just gets on with it, does his job. Very rarely posts on social media. Doesn't brag about anything. Very just sensible. Just a good, solid goalkeeper. There's no real drama around him, and I think he enjoys. And I like a goalkeeper that loves making saves, and I think he loves making saves. Yeah. Like I wish we could give him a few more clean sheets, because I know that nothing matters more to goalkeepers than that. But next season, or with the rest of this season, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. So, Stephen, what's an Arsenal match day like in New Orleans for you?
Well, for me, it's boring. It's boring, right? Because I wish I could say the same as Tiffany and say Spin McCall's this, Spin McCall's that, but with the two kids and everything, it's a little different for me. I try and get out that way as much as I can, but it's like a little bit, I have to drive out there. I don't want to drive out there if I'm going to be having an early, So I have to make that decision. But my actual mornings are mostly just waking up, putting on